a guarantee amount, and then escalation, and the ability to be here for a long time, the ability to from both performance and playing time. If he's able to do that, he has a chance to take the deal up to different levels. So we tried to check each of those boxes.
Not to harp too much on this day in Severna Park, but you brought it up. So, can you go more into the setting? You were in a football field, far away from.
Yeah.
How much did you try and conceal yourself?
Quite a bit that day, but it pretty quickly it was cover was broken. But it was you're basically in right field, so it was and in right field, but basically where our right field bleachers would be, there was a football stadium, and I could stand there, pretend I was watching the football practice, and look back on the baseball game. But because of COVID, the security guard was like, "Hey, you can't stay up there." So he came and grabbed me, and it became a little bit of a spectacle that I was getting escorted out as the families were kind of walking in. So that was all part of it. But
it wasn't at Severna Park. It was a away game.
It was an away game. Yeah, I didn't want to go to the home game. So
clearly, that leads me to believe that your scouts talked him up very highly. You thought that this could be a guy that you would want to keep him secret. Is that
Yeah, we had Jackson, and we had Jackson valued as high as anybody in that draft. So even though we were picking 27, I don't know what the exact number was, on our board, I don't remember if he was 1-1, but it was 1-1, 1-2 on our board. So he was that level of talent for us.
Can you really scout a player from that far?
To me, probably not, but half the time when I'm close, I get it wrong anyway. So it's go farther away and see what happens. But you could definitely see the energy and what he brought to the table from a winning standpoint. So I don't know. It's at the end of the day, we've been lucky that we've got a bunch of scouts that their job is to get close and see the swings and see the actions. But I had a chance to see it. Gives you a little bit of peace of mind, and hopefully add it to the process a little bit.
Is this full floppy hat? Is this what's incognito look like?
Yeah, floppy hat's a must. That's a given. That's a given.
Pulled down over.
Yeah, basketball shorts are on. Yeah, it's all part of that for sure.
You guys are still eligible for the PPO the next couple of years, right?
Jackson, I think we are. I didn't even look at that actually. So I'll take your word for it. I think we are actually, because I think it's a successor contract, so everything goes into play next year.
Him finishing second last year, I'm sure you had strong feelings about that.
We've seen these types of contracts more often in Major League Baseball. Padre fans have been calling for it since last season.
To me, it was honestly kind of a historic rookie class, So obviously Jackson, to me, was as worthy as anybody that was on that board. But you talk about Paul Skeens, Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill. Hopefully, it's one of those things you look back in a few years, and those are three of the best players in the game of baseball. And for Jackson, to me, I think the next thing is go see if you can go win an MVP. I think Rookie of the Year is great, but you win MVPs, you're probably winning a lot of games for your team and your organization. That's probably the next focus for him.
John Seidler, here in official capacity, was this an easy sell to him?
Yeah, again, all of these are, there's a lot that goes into all these decisions, but I think in terms of, having a player that has elite talent, elite makeup, you sit down with Jackson for a few minutes and you know what he's, what motivates him, and I think it's in total alignment with any organization wants. In terms of us trying to win championships, that's all he talks about. So, John's seen him play a lot over the last year. So, in terms of sitting down and talking about it, he was very supportive of it, and he understood this was a good decision, and ultimately it was a good process getting to where we got to.
Was John part of any of the discussions with Jackson and his people, or he just leaves it all to you?
No, he's, again, I think, similar to Peter, I think, he's, myself, Nick, Josh, informing John of, hey, this is where we're currently at, this is what we'd like to offer, this is where we think this thing may land, this is, and then the back and forth, this is where Jackson and his group, this is where they've come back with, and then at the very end, he sat down with Jackson, and we were able to talk, myself, Jackson, and John, and Jackson wanted to just hear from John about, his ideas and his thoughts, and that's ultimately how the process worked. Yeah, super excited, super proud. Again, he always liked hearing about Jackson in the minor leagues, and he knew, again, maybe not in center field, but he knew he was going to come up and. He knew he was going to come up and be a huge part of the Padres for the next decade, and so I think again that's what we talked about all the time. What Peter, myself, it's having a core group and being able to have that group that fans know every single year. They're going to be able to come see, and and most importantly, they're going to see winning baseball, and they're going to see excellence. And we've gotten off to that type of start to start the season, in large part, I think, because of the continuity of the players and how they all fit together.